Hey, this is Clay Staires with the Leadership Initiative. Guys, we are finishing session number 8. This is our final session in winning in the workplace, the team builder level. Okay, man, I'm looking forward to wrapping this up, giving you some great information today, again, to help you with your perspective and your mindset for how you're going to move from where you are, still in the worker pool, all right, trying to work from where you are into the next level. How do I step out of here? I want to show you, we've talked a little bit about this, but what we've got, if you remember up here, we've got the big CEO, all right, this is like the big man on the mountain type of thing. But from there, there's key supervisors or key leaders in every huge department or division in every company. And then below that, we'll call these senior managers. And then below there, we have what we call mid-managers. And these are people that have direct connection to the workers that are doing the daily job. And that's where we are right now at this level as a team builder. So what we've got here under that mid-manager is, down at this level, is where we actually have the workers. And man, good luck reading what I'm writing there, okay? It's kind of tough down at the bottom. But this is where you're actually working and doing the daily tasks and doing the work at the company. So this is where we are. But the idea is we want to begin moving up through this chain of command, moving up through the organizational chart. The first thing that we have to do is set ourselves apart from the worker pool, okay? Set yourself apart from the masses. We've talked quite a bit throughout this entire team building level about how do we set ourselves apart from the rest of the workers. We talked a lot about that as well in the worker level training. So what we are wanting to do is create boxes in here between the worker and the manager that I call the team builder. Other words for this would be like supervisor or the head or the lead technician. It's the captain of a certain group or somebody that has set themselves apart from the rest. So this is what we are trying to accomplish, is this movement. So, as we've been talking about our team builder, again, here we have in our mindset pyramid, okay, the production mindset pyramid, we talked about with a workers, if you want it done right, you got to do it yourself. Team builder, if you want it done right, find other people to do it with you. So what we've talked a ton about as we've gone through our team builder training here is how do I get people to do it with me? How do I begin to influence other people to actually follow me and do the things I'm asking them to do? Because so unfortunately, as we've talked about, it's so unfortunate that so often what happens in most companies is strong workers get promoted to managers and they never learned how to do this level. And so what you've got now is managers that can't get people to do what they're asking them to do. It's the number one frustration of managers. People don't do the stuff I'm telling them to do. And the number one, we know this from the Harvard Business Review and from Gallup, we know that the number one reason why workers leave companies is because of their direct supervisor. So there's a disconnect. I think that there's a strong chance that the disconnect is at this level right here. We aren't producing, we're just not aware. Business owners, business managers are not aware of the value of the team builder. So hopefully over these 8 sessions, you have been, over these last 7 sessions, you have been gaining more and more of an appreciation and a value as to why it's important to become an influencer, why it's important to actually gather people around you. Okay, so as we come over here, remember Papa Maxwell, John Maxwell, talks about his different levels of leadership. The very first level being the position level. The reason why people are following you is simply because they have to. If they don't, you're going to fire them, okay? Now that is a legitimate level of leadership, but it's very limited. People don't really, as soon as you walk out of the room, people are going to stop following you, all right? You probably remember this from grade school or something like that. The teacher would do something and then leave the room, and you go acting the fool and you chase people around. The teacher comes back in and everybody gets quiet. Everybody kind of straightens up and acts like they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. But if we're not careful, we can get stuck in this mode because we haven't learned how to do team building. We haven't learned how to influence folks. So these 3 levels is what we have been talking about over these last 8 sessions. As we move from position to permission, what the beautiful thing about this is that we actually get to a point where you are able to move beyond your stated authority. You get to move beyond just your position. And you can move to different parts of the company, or even after hours, you can say things and people actually will follow what you're asking them to do because you're not just leading by position. I love this level as we're able to move beyond your position. And it's, again, people here will follow you even if you're not in the room. Even if you go on vacation, people will do the things that you have asked them to do, because they have given you permission to lead them. It's very key, and we've talked quite a bit about the importance of building relationships and how we build those relationships at this level. But then we move from permission and we add 2, if we can here. You know that I love circles. So you know that we could go here, let's say this is one circle, and that's a bigger circle, and that's a bigger circle, and that's an even bigger circle. And what we want to do as team builders is we're wrapping up here. The whole reason for this team builder training is so that we can increase or expand your sphere of influence. Clay, how do I expand my sphere of influence? Right here. This is how we do it. We move from just, you got to follow me because if you don't, I'm going to beat you up type of thing, to getting permission and then expanding more by doing production. Now people are following you simply because they respect what you do in the company. They see you knocking the lights out of it and being productive, producing the results that are in alignment with the company core values. You personally are doing the things that the bosses, the CEOs, and everybody up here in this level are asking people to do. You become a model of production. You become a model of success that other people want to follow. That's so important. You become a model of success that other people want to follow. And that's the key thing, that other people want to follow. Everybody say it with me, that other people want to follow. Now, I don't think any of you said it, so we're going to do it one more time. That other people want to follow. That's the key thing. You know, my daughter, I've got a daughter that's coming into her senior year. She's got a real good friend, and her real good friend has a lot of leadership qualities, you know? And she wins a lot of awards. And a lot of good things happen, which is great. But the problem is, nobody wants to follow her. She doesn't have a sphere of influence. Here's the thing. She's getting there. She's moving to new places, new heights. She's getting all set for college and everything like that, which is wonderful. But she's moving there alone. She doesn't have people that she is influencing. She doesn't have people that want to follow her. So this is a very important thing. It's not just about you doing things, but it's about you doing things in such a way that people respect you and want to follow you. That's very important as we move to production. And then next of all, we get to this thing called personal development. Oh man, you want to get on the fast track of drawing people to you? Begin to move to this level. And this level is where we actually begin to invest in people. I mean, this is where you're actually investing your time and your resources into other people to help them get where they want to go. And not just you spending all your resources on yourself, and, catch this, you not just trying to get them where you want them to be, but helping them get where they want to be. We've talked about this in other team builder talks and other sessions, about the importance, if you want to build relationships, the very first thing you have to do in this workforce here is you have to discover, where do people want to go? What is their why? If you don't have those conversations, then I promise you, you're just going to be very, very limited in how far you can go with that relationship. Because even though you may be building a relationship with them, unless you know where they want to go, when they say, hey, I want to follow you, you won't know where to take them. And when things get difficult and they begin to experience pressure and struggle, you won't know how to encourage them because you won't be able to inspire them to their goals. Okay, so this is just a very important thing. So as we move from position, we want to move beyond to this place of permission where now people are saying, yes, I will let you follow me, into production where we get the respect, and then finally when we begin to invest in people. I tell you, that's like rocket boosters. That's the special sauce right there. Getting people to follow you because you have personally invested in them. Guys, I've had tons of experience over the last 25, 30 years to invest in people. And if you want to move to a place of loyalty, if you want to move to a place of people being faithful, people being true, people being trustworthy around you, begin to invest in their lives. Again, each of these things, as we've talked about, each of these steps, though, involves a measure and an even greater and greater measure of, this just hacks a bunch of people off. We have to think of others. I just threw up in my mouth. Yeah, we got to think of others. Rather than just thinking about our own path, what we have to do today. And again, this is why it's so important. I think that when we are here at the worker level, the focus on self is very important. I think it's very right. I think it's very appropriate. But to move up the ladder, we have to begin to expand our mindset to include other people. Because if we can't begin to think about others and where they're headed and what their goals are and what their why is, it's going to be very, very difficult to influence them. So, again, we have this sphere of influence begins to expand as we change the way that we are thinking. Remember, how you think about them will be how you will treat them. And if you see other people as lazy slobs, you'll treat them that way. You'll become a slave driver when you become a manager. So we have to be really careful to allow that new thinking to happen. Allow that new thinking to expand inside of our mind, or else we can be in a real tough spot. Next of all, when you invest in people, you will find a loyalty. You will find that loyalty will begin to reach its peak. So again, one of the key things here is that if we can get, but you got to get permission. You can't just walk in one day and say, let me be your Yoda. Let me teach you a few things. Again, that can turn folks off really quickly. All right? Somebody comes in with a problem and immediately you're trying to turn into their counselor or their coach. You might just piss them off. Okay? So you got to be careful. You got to get that permission and you have to have that respect before you can move to this investment. So there are steps, and I promise you, if you try to jump steps, either here or here, you're going to run into some problems. And it's just not going to work the way that you want it to work. This is a very important thing for you to keep in mind. You can't skip steps. Okay? So, let's see here. Just looking at our notes. When they have personally grown through their mentorship or through their friendship with you, they will follow you anywhere. They will begin to line up. They will have an allegiance to you because they have seen your investment into their life. You win people's hearts when you help them grow personally. What is a mentor? A person that embodies the characteristics. This is important. A mentor is a person that embodies characteristics that other people want to adopt into their life. That has to be there. You can't just decide one day, I'm going to be your mentor. You actually have to get to a place where you have something that other people want. That's why I have over here talking about our timeline. So Clay, what is this? Like a month at the worker level and then maybe a month here at the influencer and then before long I'm leading the company. It doesn't really work like that. But there's a timeline. There's at each level here, there are skills to learn. There is knowledge to gain. And there is character to build. Character to build. So while you are a worker waiting to move up and looking for that opportunity to move up, what do you do in the meantime? Skills, knowledge, character.